Hi guys, welcome back to TomTalks. We're going to be doing a football video today. It's been a while since I've done one. I'm going to do a season roundup and a look ahead to next season soon. I know it's been a month and a bit since the season ended. I'm kind of late with these things, I apologise. Like this with the music stuff as well, I've still not done my 2022 end of year list for music or other stuff that I watch. But yeah, so I'm here today because something has happened at Manchester United Football Club that I feel like I need to talk about. He says this whilst in a Barcelona top. My Man United one is in the wash, so I'm wearing a Barcelona top today. I'm here to talk about David De Gea leaving the club because there's been a very interesting discourse on the issue. So, first of all, I am sad because David De Gea not only was the last remaining player from the Ferguson era, but he's been one of our best players of the post-Ferguson era as well. I mean, he's helped us win trophies, he's won the Premier League, the FA Cup, the League Cup, the Europa League, the Community Shield. He won 8 trophies whilst at United, which some will say, oh, well, that's not a lot, but, you know, we went 6 years without winning a trophy, so that's kind of not his fault, really. But he's been a key part of those trophy wins. He's been a key part of some seasons where, you know, we've either finished second or managed to scrape into the top 4, which it's not obviously what we want as United fans, but he's the reason that we've stayed competitive in trophies. He's one of the main reasons that we've managed to finish in the top 4 and finish second, third, fourth, whatever. And he won our best player of the year 4 times. He's won the Golden Glove a few times, including last season. He's not the amazing player he once was, but he was still the best keeper in the league in terms of clean sheets. Obviously, overall as a player, that is up for debate. And the fact we have a better defence now. But I think his role at the club and how good he was has been quite understated, because at one point he was one of the best goalies in the world. He was a fantastic shot stopper. He kept out some of the best attackers. There was a reason Sir Alex Ferguson bought him, and he did have a shaky start to his United career, but he grew and he got better. And he has been on and off at times, but I don't ever think he has been bad. He's made mistakes, don't get me wrong, and I think the time has come for him to leave, although I will get on to how it was dealt with in a bit. You can't deny he's a fantastic shot stopper. Does he fit in with the modern game? Potentially not, but he's been at the club 12 years, and there is a reason for that. And there's a reason that he's managed to hold on to the number 1 shirt against others. I mean, his competition wasn't amazing. Dean Henderson did look like he could be a promising keeper at one point, but I think now it's clear he's not going to be United's number 1. But I think some of the comments I've seen about David De Gea being an awful player, not being good enough to lick the boots of some, is wrong. He was one of the best goalkeepers of the 2010s. I think that is a fair comment to say. Is he the best? I don't know. I think it's up for debate, personally. I think there's obviously other fantastic goalies during that era. Manuel Neuer, Addison, Edison. There's other names I could name, but I think it's up for debate that he was one of the best goalies in the world. And whilst he's not one of the best anymore, I still think he's a competent goalkeeper. He just doesn't fit in with the modern game. But, and also, he has a legacy at United. He will always be loved by the fans. He stood up to the Glazers, which I think United fans like as well. And I will always remember him, and I will cherish his moments as a player, because he has stuck with the club. I know the fax machine, we're all aware of the fax machine, but he kept on playing. He kept playing at a high level until recent years, where he's been a bit on and off. He's been a good goalkeeper. I think that's fair to say. Now I will get into him leaving. I think if the club wanted him to leave, I think they should have given him a send-off. I think he deserved a send-off, like at the end of the season, where, you know, he went out to Old Trafford, he spoke to the fans, etc. Let's not forget, this season, we won a League Cup, we got to an FA Cup final, we finished third in the league, which has put us back in the Champions League. We had a decent season, and I think De Gea, whilst not being the main part of that, he still kept most clean sheets he's ever done in a season at United, and one of the most he's ever done in the league. It was the second time, I believe, he's won the Golden Glove. Even if he'd had a bad season, he'd earned a send-off because he's a fantastic goalkeeper. What I've heard United has done, well, they offered him a contract, brought it back, and said, oh no, we want you to have even less money than we've said. I think it's just rude. I don't agree with the way United have dealt with this. And yeah, you know, footballers earn a lot of money, and I think his wage, if he stayed, should have come down, because if he's not going to be playing week in, week out, his wages shouldn't be at the higher echelon. But clubs should have shown him more respect. You know, if you don't want him there, if the manager has said to you, you know, we need a new number one, you should have made that clear. You should have made all that and not dealt with it the way they have. Because the way they've dealt with it is extremely disrespectful for someone who has been at the club so long, has helped this club win trophies, has been a pivotal part of the squad. I just don't like the way this has been dealt with, personally. And I'm disappointed. Not surprised, because the Glazers have took a big turd on this football club. They've been a turd, to be fair, since they bought it. I can't wait to see the back of them that takes over. This is just another stab in the back to United players, United fans. I'm not surprised, because as I said, De Gea isn't a fan of the Glazers, but yeah, I'm disappointed in the way De Gea's left. I would have liked him to have said his farewells and been given a proper send-off, especially by the United fans. But it's not to be, unfortunately, and I'm kind of sad about that. Quickly, I'll touch on the future. It looks like we're going to be signing Onana from Inter Milan. He's a top-class goalkeeper. I think he's worth the money we're potentially paying for him. And if that does go through, I think we've got a top shot stopper. And potentially someone who could become another great. I mean, we've had some top-class goalies at United. We had De Gea, we had Van der Sar, we had Schmeichel, we also had Barthez and Royal Carroll. Let's forget about that. Even though, admittedly, Barthez is a World Cup winner, so there was something about him. I think Onana is a top-class keeper. He's done very well at Ajax and Inter Milan, or Internazionale, as I think you're supposed to pronounce them now. I don't think you're supposed to say Inter Milan, apparently. Okay, I'll have to look into that as well. I'm interested and looking forward to seeing Onana represent United. But I just thought to say something about David De Gea, because he's a player that I've loved at the club, that I've respect for, and I'm sad to see him go, even if it is the right time for him to go, personally. And some of the discourse online, I think, has just been ridiculous. Like, they've really done him dirty, and I don't think it's very fair, to be quite honest. But that's my thoughts on David De Gea. Let me know your thoughts below. Do you agree? Do you think he was overrated? Do you think it's the right time for him to go? Do you think he should have stayed on maybe as like a number 2 or a competition? Do you think the Glazers have done him dirty? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, folks, this has been the TomTalks.